I was there on the autumnal, not equinox, but solstice. No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. The equinox, the autumnal equinox.
Equinox.
This,
Yeah.
okay. So here, and there's a strange thing about that too, because I met with one of the most powerful men in Mexico while I was there. This was planned before I went there, and this is the man I met with is the sorcerer Enrique Berdon. Okay, and so we went down there, and I was in a black magic ritual on the autumnal equinox, and the following day I was in a white magic ritual. On the night of the autumnal equinox, my documentary team was scared shitless. They refused to accompany me to White Monkey Mountain, and when Enrique's henchmen came to pick me up, they refused to go, and they were worried that I was not gonna. They thought that I might be like a victim of a human sacrifice. They didn't know if they were ever going to see me again. Okay, and so we made arrangements right there for the whole team to make it back to the States in case I didn't show back up. Okay, and this ritual that I was involved in is of the darkest nature of any.
Do you want to talk about those rituals? Do you
I
want to
don't have
explain
any
exactly what they
problem. I'll
are?
tell you about it. I'll tell you about it right now, huh? Okay, so here's the deal. I went up there to the compound, okay, and we knew that there was going to be a blood sacrifice. I knew before I was going down there I was going to do what's called blood work, okay. Blood work can be something as simple as tearing a chicken's head off or something like that. As far as I know, as far as I can remember, I've never been involved in any blood work before. Okay, so I went up there. The hotel that we happened to be staying in Catamaco, Mexico, and I've got many stills and 1080p video and drone footage, 4K drone footage to show you. I can show you all the footage for the white magic ritual because after I came back after that night, the team of course accompanied me to the white magic ritual the next day, which that was all love, light, and peace, So I've posted pictures of that on Facebook and stuff like that. So anyway, we get there. And then we started talking about price and everything like this of the money, you know what I mean? And so Enrique, they're from a different country. Our money is worth way more money than theirs is. But he showed me all these pictures, and there had been a Russian, a man who's like a psychic or something like that from Russia who had come down there with his team, and he had charged him X amount of money with his team and everything. So he just basically cut that amount of money in half and just threw out a number, okay, and it was $1,000, and so of course I immediately agreed, okay, and so here's the deal, and so he said, he said, well, there's a clairvoyant girl, okay, so he said just chill here because they had to go get the clairvoyant girl, okay, they have teams of people, so after about 20 minutes or whatever, he said, okay, we're ready, okay, so. Of course, have a black robe here in the United States that I use for our rituals, and I took a black robe down there with me, but it was at the hotel room. Well, I didn't say anything. They gave me a black robe, okay? And so
Any significance in why it's black or white or anything?
uh, I don't know. In all the rituals, there's symbols and stuff that are on the robes, but there wasn't a symbol on this robe. But I don't know. Black is the color of mystery. Darkness. I don't know. Okay, this was at night. Okay, so we're here in Enrique's fabulous compound. Okay, and so he says, okay, so here we go. So I walk off with him. Okay, and it's just me and him. And we walk into this like field, and this is where there is a huge pentagram there. We're talking about at least about 50 feet across, and this pentagram is put on the ground, like you can see the pentagram on the ground, but because I don't know if they used paint or what, they didn't just paint it just in. I mean, it always looks like this. So he did all this stuff. He doesn't speak very good English, but he explained all these things to me, and then he says, so now here's the deal. And so we had to not touch the line of the pentagram. We had to step over it. And in the middle of the pentagram was a flaming cauldron. In other words, up on a stand, there was like a big, huge metal brazier or whatever with all this wood in it with a huge fire. Okay? So we did this, and then we did our widdershins. In other words, the widdershins means walking around.
Yeah, widdershins, that's counterclockwise, isn't it?
It's what?
is with us in
Yes,
his
yes, yes,
counterclock.
yes, it is, yes, it is. And so we did that, and he was saying a lot of things, and he was telling me these things what I'm supposed to invoke and feeling and stuff like this. And then, but of course, we couldn't walk over the lines of the pentagram. And then we went up to the brazier and put our hands like this, supposed to be feeling the heat and everything. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I was like, yeah, this is cool and everything. I was like, okay, that's it. Okay, so then that's when we went down into the underground sacred cave. This cave, they've had a candle burning in there for 5 years straight. Okay, so we go down the cobblestone steps, and it's only me and Enrique. Okay, and we go down the steps. There's all this incense. There's candles everywhere, And then as soon as I come into the room, it was really quite shocking because there was an altar there. I first I didn't even see what was on the altar because there was a 10-foot tall statue of Lucifer behind the altar, and this statue is standing on a pedestal. We're talking about a huge statue of a male figure with horns, okay, with the most perfect, physique you can imagine, and also an erection and a huge male member in erect.
Yeah.
And so then I look down below him, and there's a girl on the altar. There's a girl, and he explained to me that this is their clairvoyant girl, and this girl was nude, and I will go.
What age was she?
Okay, she's 16 years old. She is 16 years old.
I mean, was she a virgin? Any details there?
No, I don't. I would imagine she's a virgin. I don't know. It never, and I can guarantee that girl's alive and well today. She is very important to their organization. She is very important to their organization. Okay, and so we went in there, and she never spoke a word. Her eyes were closed the whole time, and she was writhing and moaning and stuff. But as the ritual kept going, she really started going off like this, and we had to do all these things. And there was the alcohol, and we were, he was spitting the alcohol, but I was also drinking the alcohol, and the alcohol was going everywhere. Okay, and the candles and saying all the things, and then we got in front of the altar, and he did not tell me to touch the girl, but I touched her. I got down on my knees, and I was touching her arm like this. And what he did is he had a ceremonial dagger, and he put his hand and the dagger on the girl's chest and on her stomach. And he was running the knife around on her stomach, looking at me as if to say, "Do you understand?" And I nodded my head, yes, I understand. And so then we stood up, and he was going, "Manifesto! Manifesto!" And he was saying it with such, clarity. I thought that damn statue was going to come alive. I mean, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I mean, this guy was into it, okay? And the girl was just she was almost coming off the whole thing, and this was not some act. Okay, so here's the deal. Then some other things were said, and I'm sitting here kneeling in front of the girl, and I'm going to tell you, at that time, I felt for one of the oldest tricks in the book, because I don't know if you know about this trick, but this is something that they do to you in rituals. They get
just for the sake of anything like that, any point like that. I mean, I may know, or you may know, but could you describe what it is so people who don't?
Here's something they do. This is a cult 101, folks. I'll tell you this right now. When you start doing these dang rituals and stuff, what they do is, whether it's a group of people or whether it was me alone, and I fall for it every time. What they do is you're in a trance, okay? You're in a trance. You're in because of these words, these symbols, and all this stuff that's going on. And I'm sitting here kneeling, and then he snuck up right by my ear, and bang, rang a bell, and I jumped in there. I was like, like that. And then I turned, and then there was Yane. She wasn't there before, the beautiful sorceress. She was in a black robe, and I saw her. I was like, And then I saw it. She was holding a leash with a goat on it. And this was a very large goat. Okay, this is the goat. They had already told me about this is the goat that they're supposed to use this next spring. but I got that goat, okay? And so here's the deal. There's Yane, there's the whole deal. Nobody had to tell me what to do. You know what I mean? I didn't come halfway across the goddamn world to look like a goddamn chicken, you know, in front of my new friends. And there was the second altar, you know, that was, not, that was behind me, not the altar that the girl was on. And so I know what I had to do, Miles. And so you goddamn, it kind of brings up some memories. Because they had pictures of the way these people do it, these Mayans and stuff like that. They cut that heart out while it's still beating and hold it up and stuff like this. Okay, so here's the deal. I mean, I was super charged up. And I got and the goat was just looking at me. The goat, the goat didn't see any of this coming, man. And I had it for 1 second. 1 second, I felt sorry for the goat. I looked at that goat and I was thinking to myself, that goat didn't do nothing wrong to me. But then I realized, oh God, here we are with this guy, you know. And there was no hesitation. I got the leash from Yane, the beautiful sorceress. I got the ceremonial dagger. I got that goat. And I threw him down on that goddamn altar right there, on this huge stone altar. And goddamn, I just went after that motherfucker, just fucking stabbing and slashing him, and he's going meh like that, and it's just, I just went off on that motherfucker, okay? And so I don't know if he was fucking dead, whatever. I wanted to maybe cut out his heart, and I tried to do it, but apparently I don't know the dang anatomy of a goat, and so it didn't work, and I had stabbed him and slashed him up already so much. His tongue was sticking out of his head like this. So if he wasn't dead, he was just almost dead. And I was maybe, frustrated that I couldn't cut his heart out. And this was a big damn goat, man. This is a 65, big fucking goat. I grabbed that goddamn goat and I fucking held him above my head and I smashed him on the rock. I smashed him on the rock floor. I smashed that goat.
So his goat was still alive. Yeah.
And I don't have that too many memories to where sometimes when I think of it, it gets you when you think about it because of what you've done. So, but here's the deal. So then they said, go up there. In other words, I was to go up the stairs and go get with his henchmen. Okay, so I went up the stairs. I didn't even look back what was behind me. The blood all over me. Okay, all over the place. I went up those stairs. Right over there to the left where the pentagram was, there was the old man. There was the two henchmen. They said, come here, and I didn't. The jungle was to the right, and I just bolted out into the jungle. I was just going, just running through the jungle, and it just seemed like the jungle was communicating with me, and you're just in a jungle, you know what I mean? And so I started, calming down, but I was getting cut by all these branches and stuff like that, but it didn't matter. I felt like I could just go through anything, okay? Because I was charged up, man. I was charged up. And so what it is, I said, okay, now I'm going to go back. And then I was making my way back there, and I picked up this big boulder. I mean, a big boulder. And I picked it up, and I held it up over my head like that. Ah! And I looked up at the moon like that. And then I put that one down. I said, I'll get a bigger one. And so when I got another one, I picked it up. It was too big. And so I went and I picked up the other one that I just had. And then I came in and I went through the jungle and I busted out into that compound. They didn't know where the hell I was by this time when Enrique was out there and they were standing all out there. And I came out of the fucking jungle with this goddamn boulder above my head. Their eyes got about this big. And they started going like this, and Enrique held his arms back like this. It's like, hold your ground. In other words, hold your ground. And I came at him with this boulder. And I held it up above my head. And then I told him, I said, it's just like in the Bible. I said, you know the story. It's just like in the Bible of Cain and Abel. And then I turned around and I smashed that boulder on the ground. And then I turned around and I said, "You see, it's just like in the Bible." And then they relaxed because they realized I wasn't going to come after them with that boulder. And so they relaxed, and I came over there to them, and I calmed down, and then after that, Enrique pointed to these sinks and stuff over there, and Enrique instructed me to clean my own robe. It had so much blood on it, and you see, this is important in the occult because you're supposed to take care of your own, own stuff, of your own messes. So I went over there, and god dang, what I did is I went over there. I ran a little bit of water on that, stuff like that. I made a show of cleaning the robe. I didn't clean the damn robe. Hell, they got maids and shit like that can clean that fucking robe. But I at least, made the effort to say, "Hey, here I'm cleaning the robe," And so after that, calmed down and everything like this, and then we got with his henchmen, and we started talking about the next day's rituals, because what I paid for was a 2-day ritual, That was the black magic ritual. The next day was the white magic ritual, which I'm going to supply you with videos and stills if you want to show during your edits of this or whatever. And they're beautiful, beautiful pictures. And
that's we'd like to see. If you want to, do you want to sort of just give us sort of an introduction to what those are?
I'll tell you what they are right now, because that's the whole white magic ritual. That's a whole fascinating story within itself too. Okay, so anyway, we went back to the henchman took us back to the hotel. Okay, so that's when I went up to the room, and that's when I gave him the money. Okay, I was instructed to give the money to the henchman. We're talking about American dollars. Okay, and so I gave him all the money, and then but what Enrique told me, he said, because it was almost midnight when we finished all this. The next day was the white magic. He said he made sure that he told me not to eat any meat, because apparently you ain't supposed to eat any meat or whatever for the white magic ritual. Okay, so the next day we went, and they came to our hotel, and it was Enrique and Yane, the beautiful sorceress. I'm going to send you pictures of all these people. And we split up in 2 cars, where Yane went with me and Rick, my guy, and my cinematographer and bodyguard, whatever you want to call him. And we got in the car, and Yane got in the car, and we went to the flower market. So Yane bought all these different kinds of flowers, and of course I bought a bunch of booze and stuff like that. Well, then we went to the sacred lake, which is just a few blocks away, right there in Catamaco. Okay.
What do you mean by the sacred lake? Does this go back to ancient times, or?
Yes, the lake at Catamaco is the most sacred lake in Mexico. Okay, the Catamaco, Mexico, is known as the city of the Brujas, or the city of the witches, because it's been a known source. That's where the sorcerers in Mexico come from. It's a 1,000 years old tradition. Now, Catamaco also happens to be a tourist location, but for Mexicans, like rich Mexican people, if you're going to, instead of going to Aspen, if you're in the United States, you go over here to this place, and they got these dang, monkeys. They got this one monkey island and everything. Well, anyway, we got with the boat. We got with the captain of the boat, who works for Enrique. We were told we could not take pictures of the boat. We have the video. You're going to see pictures of the boat. You're just not going to see anything that shows the identifying numbers on the boat. Because
well, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is, not everybody. See, here's another thing. I met with Fido Berdon, who was Enrique's uncle, the day after that day. Okay, he's more of a white magic type of guy. Enrique doesn't necessarily have a good reputation in that town. You see what I'm saying? They're doing black magic rituals and stuff like that. There was a team of Okay, so we got in the boat. And we went over here. There was the main island, but first we went to the little miniature island. And these island, they explained to me, is very new. I mean, because they're made out of lava. I mean, when I say new, I mean, they're probably still, I don't know, 50,000 years old or something. But, it's not like a million-year-old, It's all from lava and stuff. And we went through this ritual. And I can tell you different aspects that you'll see in the ritual. And
okay. We'll leave that to part 2. Okay. Let's get this section. Yeah.
Okay. So and then after we did the whole ritual, and then I went into the lake, and they put the flowers all over me, and then I had to apologize to the north, south, east, and west, and cry to my mama and all this stuff, and then we went over here to this little island right there and continued the ritual and took a few more pictures. So,
Is
With
that the pictures that you sent earlier? But you've been.
no, no, that was White Monkey Mountain. You can see White Monkey Mountain from the lake and from the little island on the lake. But the black magic ritual happened on White Monkey, on Enrique's compound on White Monkey Mountain.
Now, is there any particular reason why that has to happen on that little island?
Yes, they explained to me there is very, very much power there. Okay, and when they put the flowers on me, I was supposed to be near the water. Well, I always do more than what these people said to do, and I got in the water and everything like that. And then I even, I had roses and all these flowers and stuff all over me that they had sprinkled all over me. But then I went and I guess they were going to tell me I'm there because there was a time that I had to swim out and then swim back and swim out and swim back and everything like that. But I also dove deep down into the water. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't, like something down here doesn't grab me, some sea monster or something like that. But,
Yeah.
I was a little bit, So, but I looked up, I could see the sunlight. And so I just, held my breath and let the buoyancy of my body, carry me up there. And yeah, so, there was nothing dramatic on the white. It was powerful, very powerful ritual, but it was nothing there. It was all love, light, and peace on the white magic ritual.
Now, but is this because you paid to do this? Was this some kind of a thing that was a tourist thing you paid to see or do?
I told you I paid $1,000 for this whole thing. That included, it was a 2-day long festival. The black magic aspect of it was as at night on the autumnal equinox, and the white magic ritual was the following day in daylight, in having to do with water or
and
sun.
that had to be done at precise times because the actual equinox where you are physically, it's overhead. Is that right?
Oh yeah. It had to be. When I the black magic one. It doesn't have to be done on but that's where the power's at. That's why we scheduled the whole trip for me. It wasn't just a coincidence that we ended up down there with the most powerful sorcerer in Mexico on the goddamn autumnal equinox. That was all planned ahead of time. And it was fast.
Now, you sent me pictures of this. The pictures have you done that already?
Have I what?
On this? You sent them on Facebook?
Oh, I posted a few on Facebook. Yeah, but yeah, no, I've got some beautiful pictures on there, but I've got tons more than that. To help you make this video better, or whatever. Yeah, no, I'm gonna send you some stuff that's gonna blow your mind. It's beautiful stuff in drone footage, 4K drone footage. We got, not having to do with the occult. We got serenaded by these dang, where the guys come and play instruments for you. We did